So this is going to be the episode where my baby Milk officially gets on my nerves. Because apparently the Big and Milky has soured. Let's get into this review. So after elimination, you know, the queens are going back into the workroom and they all see Thorgy's message. And so the room is kind of divided because some queens, like Milk, think that Thorgy was just, you know, being Thorgy and just making a joke about it. And a lot of the other queens just feel like it was just very tacky and, you know, low for this kind of competition because they're all supposed to be sisters. I, however, am kind of in the middle as well. I think that Thorgy was joking and being Thorgy's self, right? But I also feel like Thorgy had a little sting in there as well because Thorgy is petty. Thorgy is very petty and Thorgy does not like losing. So, you know, that message was, you know, it had a little sting to it. I watched the episode last week. She meant it how it was received on both ends. So, you know, our girl Shangela took it in stride because Shangela is playing the game. And she also knows that the fans are watching, right? She wants to be booked after this show. Kind, fun queens are bookable. You know, the ones that are a joy to work with. And that's just in any industry. When you are somebody that people want to work with, that people enjoy working with, you get more work, you get booked. You're in high demand. It's the petty crybabies that nobody really wants to book. Wake up, Thorgy. This review is going to have a lot of Milk in it because I was rooting for Milk. Milk was in my top. Not anymore. I just did not like how Milk was playing the game. And I think Milk wasn't playing the game, and that's the problem. It's just, you can have your good days, you can have your off days. Milk has been having a lot of off moments on this show. He's had so many off moments where it's just like, ooh, I don't know if I really want to root for a queen that I kind of don't like, you know what I mean? Milk is fine, and I think that Milk knows that, right? Milk also is very delusional about Milk's level in drag. I think a lot of us who are fans of Milk like that Milk was just a different queen. I don't know what's going on. I felt like on Milk's season, Milk was doing stuff that you'd never seen before. And I just feel like on this episode or on this season of All Stars, Milk is, I feel like, trying another kind of traditional drag that, in my opinion, just doesn't work for Milk. And in Milk's mind, I think Milk maybe believes that because Milk is kind of conforming to the standards of drag, that they're doing a he's doing a bang up job. And I don't see it. I really, really don't see it. And I just don't like when Milk doesn't perform well, Milk goes after other queens. I don't know why he felt the need to tell everybody that Kennedy should have went home. I, for one, do not think that Milk believes that Thorgy is a better queen than Kennedy. Milk wanted Thorgy to stay because Milk knew good and well that Milk could beat Thorgy. Milk wanted Kennedy to get out of here because, as we've seen from this episode, Kennedy can pull it out, right? But Thorgy cannot. Thorgy got in Thorgy's head, and, you know, Thorgy just got his own self out of the competition. But I felt like Milk was just saying that because Milk wanted a lesser queen. And not saying that Thorgy is a lesser queen, but I do believe that Milk believes that he could have beat Thorgy. And I think that's why he wanted him to stay and not Kennedy. And I also thought that it was extremely ridiculous for Milk to put a target on his back. I was just like, have you not learned from the first queen that went home? It's not Morgan McMichaels. Who was that? Who was the first queen? See, I don't even remember, Lord. All I know is that she's booked and busy. I will say that. She's working all over the place. But the first queen that went home, who was telling everybody their strategy, I just felt like Milk fell into the same trap of just being very vocal about who you like, who you don't like, and some decisions that you're going to make, and just thinking that everybody is playing the same game that you're playing. And I think that Milk also just got caught up in Milk and forgot where Milk was, because who I'm seeing is not who I have been standing for the past few years. So I was really disappointed, extremely disappointed in Milk this episode. So this week's challenge is a spoof on The Bachelor, and Rue picked people to partner up with to do scenes and also do fun improv. And what shocked me was that a lot of the queens were nervous about doing comedy or improvising, because I know some are not comedy queens, but I feel like in their performances in general, whether it's comedy or not, whether it's comedy or glam or horror, whatever genre of drag that you are in, you do have like improvisation. Like you do improv every day that you perform. So I just think a lot of them just didn't know really what improv was and thought that they just had to have like this comedic script going on in their head, when really it's what you do every day when you perform. So I was just kind of shocked that a lot of queens were frightened by this challenge. My favorite team of the partnering was Shangela and Chi Chi. We'll come to see that that wasn't really a good team up, but I felt like they were going to slay it. The team that concerned me the most was Trixie and Milk. And Lord, I was right. Like I said before, I haven't seen BB season and I'm never going to see it. I cannot watch that season. That filter was garbage. But I feel like BB's going to struggle in this because I think that BB is not just BB's persona is just this regal African queen. I think that's just who BB is. Out of drag, in drag, BB is just regal and royal, and that is who BB is. And I think that, you know, a lot of times when you improvise, when you take on another persona, you have to put the crown down, you know, and take on this character. And I don't think that BB is going to be able to do it. Also, BB is making this character a lot like BB. So I'm like, you're not really stretching. But I feel like for Rue, BB can do no wrong. So on this challenges, the queens first have their entrances. Right off the bat, my favorites are Trixie, because I really felt like Trixie nailed her character. Trixie was supposed to be like this fake, you know, Hollywood kind of chick, meaning The Bachelor. And right off the bat, when Fifi, I almost said Fifi O'Hara, bring up that demon. Go back to Party City! Anyway, Trixie was just in character the entire time. I really think that she played very well off of I forget his name, but he is fine. Fine. I've seen him on other shows. I haven't seen him on Unreal, but the dude is gorgeous. She really played well off of him. BB, I wasn't chuckling, you know what I mean? Michelle Visage was getting her life, but I just really didn't see it. Milk was a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. Oh my baby, Milk is just delusional. Milk didn't know when to bring it in. It was too much. Chi Chi and Shangela, frightening. I felt bad for Shangela, and Shangela really took it in stride. Shangela has really just been a class act this season. And not saying that she wasn't before, but I'm really, it's admirable how she's handling a lot of these challenges, because Chi Chi was pulling her down. Oh, Chi Chi was pulling her down, and Shangela was doing all of the heavy lifting. I don't think she got needy. It did not register for her at all. And I was looking forward to her doing this character. I felt like she was able to nail it. I thought that she could, but she just didn't. Kennedy, I didn't like the character, but I think that it was a lot better than a lot of the other queens. But it just wasn't a character for me. And then we get to my baby, Ben de la Creme, who I honestly believe is going to win this. Shangela, you got to work harder, boo. You got to work harder, boo, because Ben de la Creme came to play. Ben was like this older, like cougar kind of person. Ben gets out, no panties on, like, you know, the crotch is blurred, makeup is dripping, playing this character that is drunk as a skunk, in character the whole time. Ben did an outstanding job, and I'm so proud of Ben, because Ben disappeared for a very long time. A lot of you told me that Ben was like doing shows and like backup for other people in Seattle or around, like just places that just wasn't really advertised. And Ben was just, you know, also going back to the drawing board and rehearsing a bit more and just really coming for the crown, and I can see it. And if Ben doesn't win, I'll be very surprised. I'm either rooting for Ben or Shangela, but to me, I just feel like Ben is putting his best foot forward, and I am beyond impressed. Then we get to the scenes that the queens partnered up with each other for. And okay, I wasn't really a fan of Kennedy's character. I'm still not. It's just not a character for me, but I felt like Kennedy was very committed. Kennedy was very committed. Kennedy is really good at improv. Kennedy was really coming through with some great stuff. Aja, I feel like, got lost in Kennedy and spent a lot of time laughing at Kennedy's character and not working on her own. Trixie and Milk were a nightmare. Poor Trixie, because Trixie had some good stuff, but she had to fight with Milk, and because Trixie was being fair, she was waiting for Milk to like kind of die down so she could get back in there, but Milk was never going to die down, and it was actually cringe-worthy to watch, and I was really upset because I knew that Trixie had some nuggets, but we never got to see them or hear them because Milk just overshadowed the entire thing. Ben de la Creme and BB. When you're in a scene with Ben de la Creme, you have to bring it. I felt like BB just got lost in this character of being very shy, and I also felt like because BB didn't want to do the most, BB didn't. You know what I mean? I felt like BB picked a character that was very much like her, so she didn't have to do much. And you could tell. It was just like she was just dying in the scene. Like, you didn't really focus on her as much as you focused on Ben. Even the cameraman was just like, I just got to give Ben all of my attention, because Ben was actually really hilarious. Chi-Chi and Shangela. Oh, poor Shangela. Chi-Chi just did not... I think Chi-Chi was doubting herself. I think Chi-Chi got intimidated by this challenge and just didn't think that she could do it. So instead of like saying, screw it, I'ma just go for it, Chi-Chi kind of died down a bit and let Shangela take the lead. And Shangela, who's always ready for a challenge, did just that. But she just was doing so much work that it became very evident that Chi-Chi wasn't doing anything. So it was just very, very unfortunate, because that was the team I was most excited about. As we prepare for the runway, the queens are in the workroom getting their beat on. And Kennedy is actually pretty hurt, because Kennedy did not like the fact that Milk preferred for her to go home. And also, I didn't know that her and Milk had, you know, been on shows together. She considered them really friends. They toured together. They've always been in like this buddy kind of state in Kennedy's mind. So she said that when, you know, Milk was on this show, just being on the show with Milk, Milk hasn't spoke to her. Milk is acting like she doesn't exist. And then to say that you want her to go home. Kennedy was just really hurt by that. Really hurt by just Milk's overall actions towards her throughout this competition. So I didn't know the backstory on that, so I kind of understood why Kennedy was just so in her feelings. Milk, unfortunately, is very delusional. Milk is talking about his performance in this, in the Bachelor or whatever, and it was not good. But in Milk's mind, Milk thinks that Milk is Leonardo DiCaprio with a dash of Meryl Streep. Milk is none of that. But in Milk's mind, just like that Celine impersonation, Milk thinks that he killed it. You didn't, sis. You didn't. Now let's get into the runway. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, hey, make the girls dance. Runway category is wigs on wigs on wigs on wigs on wigs. I love Rue's look from the neck up. Like, a lot of people didn't like the dress from last episode. I love the dress. This one, I just feel like it's cute, right? For a Best Supporting Actress at the SAG Awards. This is RuPaul, you know, glam goddess. I expect more. I always expect more from Ru, and this just did not impress me. But the wigs have been on point this season. On point. Ben Delacreme came to not play, but win this season, because my family was in the living room with me when I was watching this and taking notes, and they don't really follow the show like I do. They're not really fans, you know. They were just watching it because I just had it on when they came in. My little sister lost it when Ben did the wig reveal and then ripped that skirt, and the skirt was like a full weave skirt. I was just like, when you can get people who don't even really know about drag, don't even really watch this show, to like gasp, you've done a good job. And then, bravo, baby. I'm so proud. BB, it was okay. It was okay. Trixie, I like the whole concept, although I felt like it was more runway than the theme. You know what I mean? Like, I was more into the whole look than I was into like the wig reveals. I love the reveal. I really, really did. But I was here for the whole look. I love the whole concept. It was really well thought out, in my opinion. Milk. I love sparkly things. I didn't like the look. The look just looked really cheap to me, and then the ponytail, I love the pull-out ponytail. I thought it was very smart, but it was just poorly done. It was just, the whole thing was just, I don't know. Like, this is the thing. Milk, and I think it's probably because Milk is so delusional and nasty about other people's drag, that you look very intently at Milk's drag, and then you see it just doesn't really measure up. And I think it's because I don't know this Milk. I like Milk from Milk season. Every challenge, Milk just went another, like, not even outside of the challenge, but just another level where it was just like, oh, and I would get so upset that the judges couldn't see it because the viewing audience could see what Milk was doing. And I just feel like Milk was just very muted. And then the overinflated idea of self and about one's drag and just the negative comments. I'll do a good shade and a good read, but Milk is just being very nasty and just cutting really, really deep. And if you're going to be nasty like that and cut that deep, your drag better be spectacular. And Milk's drag this season is just, it's not. Also, I feel like Milk can't really walk in heels. Like there's certain heels that Milk could walk in. Like that jean ensemble, in my opinion, with the wig like this was the best Milk has ever looked. That entrance look, the best Milk has ever looked on this season. This right now, what Milk is wearing, this like, the dress looks really cheap. The hair ponytail thing wasn't, you know, it was poorly executed. Milk can't really walk in heels, so Milk is like clunking around and giving me boy in an unintentional way. You know what I mean? It was like boy in a dress in heels for the very first time. And I don't think that that's what Milk was going for, but that's what it looked like. Aja, I wish you had a better performance in the first challenge because this runway look is outstanding. When Aja came out, because I told you I take notes on my computer, I almost dropped my computer because I was just gagging for Aja. Like she, in my opinion, has just upgraded so much, but you can tell in like the acting challenge, she needs a little bit of work. But this is like all Aja really has to do is just take get an acting coach, because you're probably booking all over, but get a little acting coach. Take some improv class. Do UCB or Second City. They have to be somewhere where you're located. I think Aja is in New York, so I think I know they're all over, so you can definitely benefit from doing that because that'll just take you to a next level because you've already elevated your makeup. You already have elevated your outfits and your hair and your decadence, your jewelry. Like you have upgraded in that area. Just get a little bit of work in the acting and sis, you got it. Kennedy gave me BB, but it was typical Kennedy, but we just haven't seen that a lot. I just felt like Kennedy was getting in her head probably the last challenge, the last episode, but this Kennedy, I was really here for it. Even the wig reveal was just so glamorous and just chic. I liked it. Chi Chi, for the first time since her entrance, to me doesn't look cheap. I think this is the best she has ever looked. The dress does look a little cheap, but the makeup, the concept, the wig, the nails, like everything is top notch. The dress makes it not up to par with the other queens, but this is one of Chi Chi's best looks. Shangela. I think she's going to be safe, so I'm not worried about that, but I didn't like it. I like the concept right in the beginning. The reveal was just tacky. You can't start off in this glam corn outfit and then just reveal something very like regular and basic underneath. So I didn't enjoy it. I didn't enjoy the reveal. I liked everything else. I liked the beginning. I was like, oh, she's corn. Cool. The reveal took it down for me. Now let's get into the judging panel. Rue is not a fan, but a stan of BB. That has to be the only reason why BB is safe. I feel like BB should have been on the bottom. I don't think that the character was as strong as the others who are in the bottom, and I just feel like BB has been skating, and I'm waiting to see what everybody is telling me that she is this force, that she is. Everybody's just like, she is legendary. And I think that maybe because she is a legendary queen, she probably shouldn't have come back. I understand why she did, but I'm just saying, compared to what everybody is saying, I'm kind of struggling this episode to see it. And it's been she's been giving me glimpses, but not enough for me to understand the fanfic. So Michelle Visage made a comment about Ben. I keep waiting for you to drop the ball. And that bothered me because I feel like everybody on that panel should be wanting them all to win. And you should be disappointed when they drop the ball. Even Rue, like in the joking way, because they're besties, you know, just like, oh, well, thanks for those words of encouragement. You know what I mean? It bothered me. It really, really did, because I'm just like, I know that her character that she plays on the judging panel is like the Simon Cowell character, right? But just to say that you are waiting for Ben to essentially fail, that rubbed me the wrong way, and I didn't like it. I really, really didn't, because can we just be real? I love Drag Race, right? I love the confidence of the queens. I love their artistry. I love how real and open and honest they are. I love everything about them. I do not overlook the fact that they are taking a huge risk being their honest and true selves and participating in an art form that in a lot of places can get them killed. You know what I mean? And I know this is a competition, but I always felt like this show in itself was always very encouraging and really showing the rest of the world who does not see humanity in LGBT people, specifically in the drag community, on the basis of this show. I felt like it was just, this show was more, although it was entertainment, I also felt like it was very educational. And I love the fact that everybody is rooting for them to win and knows what they are dealing with and is very protective of them as well, of the drag queens. And so I just did not like that in this environment, dealing with the disadvantaged community, she was waiting for Ben to fail. It bothered me. It really, really did. So Chi Chi is in the bottom. Nobody is surprised. She starts to break down, and it's just to the point where I just want to hug Chi Chi. I think that Chi Chi has gotten in her head, and I think that, again, Chi Chi doesn't have the experience or the monies that a lot of the other queens have, and she compares herself to them, because how can you not? I'm not going to be up here and be like, girl, keep your head in the game and don't judge yourself according to other queens. How can you not, to be quite honest with you, right? You know, like, you're in this small little, I was want to say cubicle, but space with these other queens, and you're seeing their outfits, you're seeing their wigs, you're seeing the makeup sponsors that are like sending them brushes and makeup, and you're not getting these things. So I get it. I think it's getting to her. But one thing that we all know about Chi Chi is that Chi Chi is able to bounce back. Not as quickly as Kennedy, who was in the top. Work, take that, Milk. But when Chi Chi bounces back, our wigs are going to be snatched, and I can't wait for it. Milk is in the bottom as well, and Milk is shocked. Nobody else is shocked, but Milk is shocked. I had a little laugh because BB and Shangela describing Milk's like meltdown of being in the bottom. BB was just like, how can she not see it? Like, it's right there. I love BB. Like, I love Regal BB. I just wish she would just give me more so that I can understand the legendary status. But I enjoy her confessionals. She's hilarious. But she was just like, Milk is shocked that she's in the bottom. Girl. So now this is the time for the queens in the bottom to start begging for their lives, per se, just to stay in the competition. Milk is still delusional. Milk just doesn't understand how she's in the bottom, especially when there are other queens who she thinks that should go home, and Aja is one of them. And she keeps on saying Aja is not on her level. And I agree with Milk. Aja is absolutely not on Milk's level because she is far above Milk. I'm sorry. Aja's drag is so far elevated than Milk's drag on this season. Milk's season, Aja can't touch right now. But the Milk of this season, Aja is far above it, darling. You can't compare yourself to her. Not on this season. Not what you're giving this season. You can't do it. My, how the tables have turned. Milk was so nasty to Kennedy. Now Milk has to essentially beg Kennedy to stay here. But Milk is still in Milk. Milk is still like delusional and then, you know, his pride or whatever. He's just like, I'm not going to beg, you know, hopefully she'll do the right thing. And I'm like, you came after this woman. You think that you gonna stay in this competition? Okay, sis. Okay. Obvious tops are Ben de la Creme and Kennedy. And the only thing I have to say about this lip sync for your legacy is that Kennedy came to win this. I don't know what Ben is going to do, but I guarantee you it won't be better than Kennedy. Kennedy had like this mink shawl on. And oh, you know what? I actually have one like that. Hold on. Listen. Kennedy came prepared, okay? She had her shawl on. She was just holding it, right? And like, even when Real was talking, Kennedy was still just in it, like, not shaking, like, just like she was ready to battle this. And then I looked and I saw she had like the diamond teardrop. I said, oh, Ben, I don't know what you gonna do, but you're not gonna win this one. And I honestly think that Ben threw it, because Ben was just like, I'm not gonna do my normal shtick. I just want the judges to know that I can do other things. I'm like, Ben, you didn't want to make this decision. Because to be quite honest with you, I feel like all the queens wanted Milk to go, okay? And then like when Kennedy eventually wins, because come on, when Mother came in like this, we all knew she was going home with the win, okay? So anyway, she makes this whole speech about, you know, the decision that she made or whatever. And I was like, girl, just please say Milk. We all know you're sending Milk home. You're not going to send home Chi Chi, not your daughter, okay? Like, it's not happening. So anyway, Kennedy sends Milk home and Milk is shocked. Baby, what's going on, Milk? You are just detached from reality, because how did you not see this coming? We all saw it. No tea, no shade, but Stevie Wonder could see it, okay? Anyway, Milk is disappointed and Milk is actually really shocked, but I did like, and I honestly felt that Milk gave Kennedy a genuine hug, and I like that. And then we get the whole ending or whatever of Milk just being like, oh, I shouldn't go home. And then, you know, the twist at the end. Anyway, that's where it ends. I enjoyed this episode. I'm thoroughly enjoying this season. Next week, we're going to get the Snatch Game. And I am worried because that always separates the weaks from the greats. You know what I mean? You always can see who can have a career outside of just touring, and who can actually go on a set, and who can actually perform certain characters, and who are the comedy queens, and who are the queens who just have a look and that's it. And I'm kind of worried because I feel like one of my favorites may go home on the Snatch Game. It's happened to me every season, and I think it's going to happen to me this episode coming up next week. I hope you stop by to discuss the show in the comments section below, because I will be there to review it, and we can just kiki it up together. If you like what you see here, please like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will see you for the following episode of RuPaul's Drag Race. Bye, Glams.